Welcome back to the Courtroom Advocate channel. My name is Miriam Washira. Today I'm going to tell you a story of when I first cried in court. This was my first days as an advocate, eager to help, eager to do good in the community and the society. So at the time I was working with an NGO that was a children's NGO. I was hired in as an advocate. My role was to support children going through the justice system. We call it watching brief. So at this moment I was issued a brief. I was told I needed to support this family that had a matter in court. So this was a young girl. She was 7 then. By the time it happened, she was 7. By the time we were going through the case, she had gotten up to the age of 9. So the brief of the story is that the young girl, the mother, was a single mother. The husband had died. But in the course of it, she had invited one of her cousins to come stay with her as she was looking for a job. That, as a community, that's what we do. We allow our relatives to come into our houses. We host them as they're looking for jobs, especially in the urban areas. So for this family, they had invited the mother, the lady had invited the cousin to come stay with them as he looked for a job. So, and then she had a family. She had the 7-year-old girl that was also living with them. So how the matter started is that the lady noticed some unusual things with the daughter. For instance, she's the one who used to clean her pants, but all of a sudden, every time she's washing her, she finds her without her pants, and her pants are in the bathroom and they're wet. So it happened for several days, and she would ask why. So initially the girl would say, I wet myself, and so on. But when it got to a level, she thought, this is not normal. Every time I'm coming to give you a bath, you don't have panties, and your panties are wet and in the bathroom. So she grilled the girl and told the girl, now you need to tell me why this is happening. So the girl is when the girl explained that actually the uncle now, because it's a mother's cousin, so the girl calls her uncle, that every time she came from school, the uncle would actually defile her. So she did explain to the mother what was happening, how he would defile her on her bed, sometimes on the chair, and after that he would take her panties, wipe her, and then clean it and put it in the bathroom. So yeah, I was given this brief. First I was thinking, I was quite young, I just started practice, and I was starting to go to court. So of course I'm passionate, and I am also really feeling for this young girl and what is going on. So when it came to court, we went to court. By the time I was taking up the matter, the girl was just about to testify. So that is where I took the matter from. So the first day we went, the girl was testifying. By then we still had the the police prosecutors then. So it was a lady. So she took the matter. So she's examining the girl in chief for her to give her story. I felt like she was not doing it properly. There were so many gaps. But by then, there isn't much I could do, to help with the matter. I would write her notes and say, could you also ask her this? But she wasn't passionate about it, and I felt like she was not concerned. So she did the examination in chief, and then came the cross-examination. This guy, the accused person, had hired a lawyer. One of the things I remember is that the lawyer was quite huge in stature. It was a man, and he was quite a tall, huge man. And so when he started cross-examining the girl, he came out very rough, and he would literally scream on the girl. He would lean on the bench and just look down the girl and tell her, you're telling lies. And initially, for the first few minutes, actually the girl was very strong, and she repeated what she had said. She repeated what was on her statement, but this counsel kept telling the girl, you are a liar, you are lying. I at one point I thought that was not a question. What exactly are you asking the girl, or what are you asking the witness? So he went on rolling, shouting at the girl, intimidating the girl. Um, the girl started crying, and at that point I am very agitated, so I also stand up and tell the court, I think what is going on is wrong. The magistrate tells me to sit down, that I have no audience in court. This was a time when we did not have the Witness Protection Act. So literally, if you're watching brief, you're just there seated, nothing much you can do. When I was told I have no audience in court, I said, but I'm also an officer of the court, and whatever is happening in the court also concerns me, and I feel even if I cannot get on record, then I should be able to, guide the court. This is a child. The counsel is not asking questions. The counsel is just intimidating the child. Unfortunately, the court didn't seem to sympathize, didn't seem concerned. Actually, unfortunately, at one point, I found the magistrate smiling, which I found very odd, because it was such it was quite an unfortunate state of things that were happening in that courtroom. So as the girl continued crying, she's looking up to me for support. I would tell her it's okay, just answer the questions, continue. But of course, she continued crying and saying, no, I'm not lying. She's begging. And the counsel, for whatever reason, is not even giving up. And he's not even asking questions. He's just saying, you're a liar, you're a liar. I felt very sad, and I remember sitting at that desk and, as at the bar, and just crying as I watched this girl literally being defiled again. Because literally what was happening there was, adding trauma to trauma. I think even as defense counsels, even as we go about our work, we need to be sensitive to the witnesses. I don't think it's called for you to traumatize a child who is a witness. I think there are better ways of getting out what you need without necessarily re-traumatizing the children. I'm looking forward as a country, even where we're now going to have the conference facilities where the child will not have to keep on retelling their stories, where this can be recorded and they can be asked questions in private, the camera matters and so on. So this was one of my saddest introduction to the justice system. As I said, I was just new, starting out. So after the matter, we went out with the mother. Of course, the mother was in court, was outside because she could not be in court, because as a witness, when the other witness is giving evidence, you're not supposed. So this child, the only other person she had in court to support her was me. And then after that, the mother was called in, and she came and she testified. But of course, she was very terrified, because when now she was called in court, she found her child literally wailing. She's very upset, and even for her to even stand there, I could tell she could not even give evidence, because she was already totally distracted by the state of her child. The mother did give her evidence, and we left the court. I remember we left the court and we went to a cave, and we just sat there, and the three of us just cried. I think it was terrifying. It was totally devastating, heartbreaking what happened in that court. For me, I felt the need that it's time for even witnesses, for victims to have their own advocates. And now I'm very happy, because now we have the Witness Protection Act. Now when I go to court, I actually do have a standing in court, and I'm able to stand up for victims, and other advocates are able to stand up for victims, because in a just system, everybody needs to be treated fairly. Whether you're the accused person or you're the victim, you need to be heard, and when you're being heard, you deserve to be treated with respect. Your dignity should be maintained by everyone in the system. So that was my first case. Unfortunately, we lost when the judgment came, but I wasn't surprised. The very minute I found that magistrate smiling, I just thought, really, this one, we have lost it. So when the judgment came and the guy was acquitted, I wasn't surprised. That was quite expected. The prosecutor had no passion even to prosecute the matter, so it did not come as a surprise. Of course, I'm really sorry that that girl felt really traumatized. The family felt they did not get any justice. Even an appeal would not have served them any justice. So for now, for what I can say about the current status is that now victims have their rights. There's a Witness Protection Act that even victims have a right, even before the judgment and sentencing, to say their to have a word in it, and to bring forth a statement showing the trauma or showing the effect that the crime had on them. That is it from today. Thank you.